All right, let's give people some time to come in here. So, because you're going to get this from a lot of people. And it's not being mean or anything like that, but I'm just going to tell you how I handle the issue and handle the deal itself. So, hit a one in the chat, you could be able to hear me. And make sure to like the video when I'm coming in because my notifications ain't going out. As YouTube is their shit, they decide what goes out and what don't. But we need to be able to have realistic conversations. All right. Okay. And the reason why I don't like doing this type of content because these are things that you should already know. But I try to do content that's way different so that way it can be able to help you right away. So because there's a lot of speaking kind of back and forth, but there's not a whole lot of examination and analysis of the actual situation itself that goes along with the talk because everybody's kind of talking past each other. This is why you don't come online trying to holler at nobody online because this is not a realistic place where you should be talking to any of these people for that purpose. This place is a place for awareness. And once you give people a level of awareness, they're going to decide what they're going to do with the level of awareness once they get it. Because a lot of people's end goal is to actually end back up with this individual at the end of the day. And we're not talking about decent women. We're talking about low hanging fruit. Because most of these people ain't got their economics together to the point to where they can actually separate and go to different situations. So a lot of these people end up using this stuff on low hanging fruit, which actually gives them the greatest set of consequences. Because if you look at the so-called people who've won, the so-called people who've won at the game, they're all complaining about child support issues, or they're complaining about lack of submission from the same person that they got in contact with, or any of that. I think about 2 weeks ago, because I use one of my brokers that I frequently use. She lives in Dallas, Texas. Very nice, older black woman. I think she's like in her 60s. Now, she was a decent woman. She married, have kids. Their kids are married. But they were like, they weren't really hood people like that. They were like old school Christian type people who decided to separate and didn't and made sure that their kids were actually socialized to separate as well. And so she was trying to get out of me because she seen like some of her nieces and nephews fall prey to this actual environment where her kids didn't. And I'm like, listen, I don't talk about the relationship industry with any woman at all because think of it as a way of concern trolling and pretty much trying to line me up for BSing me about not understanding the actual environment itself. Now I do this for an older woman, right? But I won't do this for a woman that's like 50 and below. I won't do that. But it's actual circumstance that you're gonna have to go through, and you're gonna have to learn how to not talk about these things with people who benefited off this system. Listen, all women benefited off of this broken system that we have here. All women have. All women have taken advantage of these dudes. All women have taken advantage of free labor since. All women have taken advantage of the free broken men attention. All women have done that. This society and the environment is set up for that. It's set up for that. If a woman has tuned into any relationship content for any specific period of time. She's benefited off of this environment itself. And aside from me explaining this to this woman in her 60s, but she was stay-at-home mother. Her whole life was turning her kids into productive people, which is what women are supposed to do, unless they out there working themselves. But the guy that she chose to be with, actually had the economics together to where she could be that. And I had to let her know, like I was raised in that insular fundamentalist Christian shit too, where I thought every woman was like my mother, and I thought every woman was like my grandmother until we actually got to be around those other group of people. And then I realized, no, my grandmother was a 1 in 1,000 woman. No, my mother was a 1 in 1,000 woman. And I had to explain to her the difference in between that. And it's like, I'm like, listen, you could do as good a job as you want to. Your training stuck. Our training didn't. So I was going down actually some of my silent aunts who are still alive, like in their 70s and 80s, about how this person had a family, big ass family. She was a nurse. Husband was in the military at the time. He did 20 years. Went to the post office for like another 20 years. She retired from her nursing shit. He retired from his military shit. Had a pension. These people had a house. They had 9 kids, and none of them turned out to be anything. You want to know why? They, regardless of the training that they had a life that was so easy that they didn't see themselves as a secure within themselves unless it was part of the hood element. So they were like the kids who were driving around with cars and all that stuff since they was 14, 15 years old. Yeah. And I had to tell her it's a numbers game. It's a number game and it's choice. It's a number game and it's choice because she was trying to understand how come the rest of her nieces and nephews didn't turn out like their fucking daughter, even though they didn't have the same. I'm like, all women benefited off this situation, and all women made a choice. They made a choice. They benefited off of all this stuff that was here, and they made a choice of whether or not or what they want to create. And I'm like, you can't expect this Christian upbringing, socialization shit to work 100% of the time because these people are going to make a choice. And that's just one aunt. I got like 6 more. They got the same level of stories. And I'm like, look, okay, that's one aunt. Boom. Let's go to this one. She worked in a factory. Picked a husband who was, I think he was some unionized shit with the AFL-CIO. He used to travel and do his whatever he was doing with them. Worked for them, I think 30 years. She worked for her factory, I think 20 to 25 years. She retired. He retired. They had 7 kids. You want to know what? None of them turned out to be shit. Both men and women included. Same setup. These kids had missed a meal. These kids had both parents. These kids had cars. Their parents showed up to damn near all their events. They were very active in the church, active in the schools, active everywhere, knew the police chief, very heavy in the court system, still failed. Why? Regardless of the upbringing, those kids made a choice. They didn't see themselves as better than the environment. They wanted to feed themselves back into the environment, and then they wanted to be that hybrid. They wanted to be the hybrid of fear that they're missing out on life by trying to be socialized around people that never really meant them no good. That's what the whole point of your parents getting your shit together and moving out of these hood circumstances was about. So that way you wouldn't end up in those circumstances. That's the main reason why you leave. So when people talk about this gentrification shit, like, dude, I don't believe in gentrification. I think it's just a lack of skills and a lack of capitalization on the market environment itself. And trying to push this shit off on immigrants, it don't mean shit. Again, if you have your shit together, you're going to be approached by women who's had infinite choice, who's going to try to buck break your ass into a heartbeat of trying to get you to think that they are a damn naywalt. Oh, I just made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Nah, man. All women benefited off this environment. All women could have been off the market anytime they wanted to. You don't have this level of women who are 30 plus, damn near 50 years old, still just dancing in the wind while they're waiting on you to get your shit together so that way they can hide under your umbrella and retire. And she was just kind of shocked and kind of surprised. I'm like, Miss, is that easy? I had to make a choice too. I had to make a choice of whether I wanted to stay very close to this community based bullshit through everything that I've been through. And I had to make a choice to leave these people alone. That was my choice. My choice was this was not worth my time. This was not worth the risk. That was my choice. And yes, I have to tell every woman that when I come in contact with her. I don't want to hear shit about this relationship argument. That is your treachery toward us within this environment. And you ain't trying to buck break me or try to get me to think some type of fucking shit about it. It doesn't matter. The point is the people don't have the training for what they're trying to cut these women out for. That's the truth. And yes, most of these dudes are not cut out for the productivity piece, which is also true. A lot of these dudes are trying to learn all this game bullshit so that way they can go net them the lowest hanging fruit possible and exploit those type of women. That's what they want to do. But you can't exploit somebody in a situation that's set up for them to win nearly 100% of the time. What's going on, Alonzo? The women have to bullshit you within this environment, man. They have to. Because they can't reconcile why they on the market either with infinite choice. They've always had infinite choice. I mean, hell, if these women are in their 40s like I am, dude, they had 90s R&B music lining simps up so that way they can be exploited by these same women. Yes, they had a whole music system set up of exploitation. And then they had a male protection racket that actually protected women's treachery within the environment itself. Men set that protection system up. Women wasn't out here telling you to put up with bullshit. Men were telling you that you deserve to be ripped off. Men were telling you that you are not to get mad when your ass is betrayed for somebody. Men were the one doing that. Men were the one who was telling you that game worked, even though game never worked inside of these courtroom type of situations, but everybody was lying about this shit. It was men who did that. Say it again. They came up with that. Men came up with that. Men came up with it's cheaper to keep her. Men came up with that. It was a socialization process. Men did that shit. And then they gave you enough information to play the game. Men did that. The men who were stuck here, the men who couldn't move, men did that shit. And here's the thing. The men who were selling this shit never really necessarily benefited off of the environment like the women did. The men who were selling this bullshit, they were never benefiting like the women were. Yes. Most music that was made to guide you into a system that you were never going to get out of. Men did that shit. Men wanted you to celebrate for no reason, try to get access to a temporary woman, end up on child support and all this other stuff that is dodgeable. Men did that for the most part. Men did that. They set up this system of exploitation. They were teaching you that you didn't have any choice. There was men who was doing that. They wanted you to follow the quick money lifestyle to get to the quick woman, to get to the quick consequences. Men did that. Men set up the men set up the redemption arc as an excuse to cover for their own failures. Men did that. The women did benefit off of the environment itself because the only thing they had to do was wait for a person or go out there and quote unquote choose up on a guy. Yes, you have the power of choice, and you have the power of choice yourself. Yes, it's a psychological game, and they have to play it with you in order for them to live. They have to BS you, dude. They have to. It's part of it. Part of it is don't treat me like how you treat these other women. Don't treat me like that. I'm not like them. Or I forget which live stream it was, but Mr. Research was talking to the breakdown, and there was a woman who came on, and pretty much Mr. Research was given the track record of treachery within the environment itself. And that woman couldn't stand to hear it. It wasn't Sister George and it wasn't Concrete Rose, but it was somebody else who was on the panel who didn't want to hear it. She wanted clean slate, ready to fix community, all that other shit. Like when people talk about the community, they're talking about fixing women. They talk about building relief pitchers to take over these bad games. That's what they're talking about. And you know this shit's true. Yes, they did. Men did do that. These wannabe incubuses did that. I'm talking about wannabe incubuses. No proof of incubus material, synthetic incubuses. Try to socialize you out of choice. Like, I can't be the only person who went through this, but dude, I used to have older people from the neighborhood who try to put a fat bitch on a dude at like 12 years old to try to get me hounded out on any type of sexual access to the point to where I would need their help and assistance all the time, quote unquote, getting women until I got consequences for women. Then all of a sudden they had no help for that dude. Yes, they sure did, Roosevelt. You are correct about that, man. And Congress created legislation for the current child support laws. Men were the one who actually said, now that we got abortion overturned, we believe life starts at conception, so we're going to charge your child support there. Now, the women picked it up and ran with it in other states, but it was men who came up with that shit. It was men who came up with that. It's the women who benefited off of the environment, but it's the men who came up with a lot of this shit. Men who did that. Listen, they can't reconcile the actual outcomes. That's the problem. And this is a participatory system on both sides. But the people who were participating in this actual system was trying to socialize everybody else into thinking that they didn't have any choice when they clearly do. Even though they have to BS you to live with the actual outcomes that are here, you cannot let that deter you from still working with women. Period. It's just that most of these people, you need to stop trying to get yourself in between their legs. That's a bad move right now. This whole thing is based on male usury. Male usury was okay. There was no shame in using men. Every time you got one of these fake ass pimp dudes who would come online, they would immediately tell you about how they didn't respect the working class man. That's shit they had to do. If you were the choice of these bad individuals, you had to put some work in on throwing decent men under the bus, calling us clowns, and all this kind of other shit. You had to do that as a guy who got chosen by these individuals. That was part of your actual being with them. It's putting in that type of work. Think about when people start lying about lay count and how many women they approach a day when I don't even run into 20 women a day. But these dudes were running into hundreds of women a day. They were shooting they shot at 100 women a day. And all of a sudden the lay counts got into the thousands. And all of a sudden some dude with 1,000 lay count thought it would be a great idea to say that he smashed trannies within his 1,000 lay count and thought, but guess what? When you could just lie about these things and they're unverified, you could just say whatever you like. Yeah. So now we have like this new thing where men who don't even got their stuff together is complaining about women that they don't have access to. They're complaining about women that they don't have access to. Synthetic problems. They're spending 8, 9 hours on live streams talking about women that they ain't even got access to and that they can't produce for. Yes. You call yourself a high value man, you do so because you're a damn fool. And you're trying to line yourself up to get sived down like ripe corn by these individuals who don't have a cultural track record of respected productive men. Because if they did, they'd be off the market. There's a lot to explain for a woman in her 30s trying to get off the market. That's a long time to be out there. But see, all of this stuff that you were taught that had critical faculty to it, you were socialized out of it by the men who acted like they benefited off of this system. Like the women were benefiting off of the system. I mean, how many dudes came through here in this space who tried to act like they were so bitch rich, in quotes, that they were so sexually compromised that they couldn't turn their dick off. Every time it was, they had to go shoot they shot. And if you wasn't out there playing like them, something was wrong with you. How many times do people come through here and say, you know what? I had the time of my life when I didn't have one. Well, you know what, man? She always chose me. Like, bro, when you're saying that to a group of men, you're already saying that you're trying to betray all of us because she was the reason why you did so. Crazy. It's gone, Terrence B. You had dudes in this space looked at having child support from a woman, being on child support and going through baby mama drama was a badge of honor for a man to go through. What's going on, Brownsburg? Men were doing that shit. Men was out here doing that. What's going on, Brandon Baxter? Yes. I know that they have to lie to live. I know that. I know that they can't reconcile the shit that they've been through and the men that they assisted in damaging and destroying, whether they wanted to or not. They benefited off of this system. All women benefited off of this system. Well, I can have the conversation with women who are way. I'm probably willing to have this conversation with women who's 25 and below, but I'm definitely not having this conversation with people between the age of like above 25 and like 50. I'm not talking to any of those people about the relationship conversation. That shit's crazy because they are currently benefiting off the system while they're trying to pretend like they're not. And this YouTube attention is just free attention. We know what these people's inboxes be popping like. We know. Doesn't matter how the woman look. If you have 1 out of 10s having 4 and 5 kids by different dudes with no shame, then yeah, women benefited from this environment. Especially if the lowest of the low is benefiting off of this environment, then yes, that's exactly what it is. Should you be mad about it? No. You got to move on to fresher individuals with a fresher perspective on the way things that need to be and need to go. Because these people that are currently here, dude, they've been out here too long, man. They've been out here way too long. Way too long. They have to lie to live. And yes, they're going to get the most out of their situation than they currently can. And you should too. But most of these people who want access to this woman, they want the woman first, and then they're going to improve after they get the the woman. Like that's the deal they set up inside their head. Well, you know what? I'm going to improve myself, but give me the woman first. Give me the woman first, and we'll see. Like this is why you formulate the best type of families without these people around right now. So that way you can redo the actual damage that's done to these actual circumstances by having your family being socialized out of this nonsense. And you make sure that they understand the weight of choice. Because, like I said, that two-parent household didn't really save anybody on my father's side of the family from that shit. It saved them on my mother's side of the family because my mother's side of the family was more the business side of the family. And yes, the way they acted was actually tied to whether or not they're going to be sharing within the fortune that some of the families have made throughout their life. That was the way of controlling and actually socializing better outcomes on my mother's side of the family. What's wrong, Leon P? But on my father's side of the family, they didn't have the business sense. They still had all the same Christian upbringing and all that shit from my grandfather and all that shit. But like the moment they left the city, those kids decided to do some other shit. They did. They made a choice to do that. Like, man, bro. It used to like really get on my last nerve, man. Like before one of my silent aunts had died, like the oldest one had died, and bro, it used to get on my nerves, man. Seeing like one of her nothing ass daughters and one of her super fucking badass kids cursing her the fuck out. This child is like 3 years old, cursing out a grown ass fucking 70-something-year-old woman because she decided to choose the wrong fucking dude to have a kid with, even though she ain't never been raised around no shit like that. Yeah, it was a choice, and the environment took care of people who wanted to be taken care of by certain people. Now we got the results. The results are in. The results are not good. The results are not good. Now you got the same people who actually created these problems trying to make it look like Yeah, man. I mean, man, because this shit's true, bro. It's fucking true. It's true because I don't want these people to pull a how the Grinch stole Christmas on us. I'm not gonna let these people try to pull up with all these broken women and all of a sudden your heart grow 3 times that day. I'm not letting you do that shit. I'm not letting these people get away with that shit. I want to lay down this shit right in front of y'all face to let y'all know that y'all are not to go through this shit. I'm telling you this information so that way, how, because I get presented with the same shit too. I'm in the same environment as you, the same environment, the same, and I go through the nearly the exact same thing you go to when it comes to bad customer service, when they're dealing with these nothing ass females, when dealing with these nothing ass dudes. I have dudes within my family who's 50 something years old who asked my aunt for Christmas money. Yeah. I got older cousins in their 50s, so-called dinosaur max and wannabe players asking my aunt for Christmas money. I got dudes like that in my motherfucking family, bro. The main dudes who want you to hang out with them. Next thing you know, you hanging out with them. You pulling up at some stop trying to buy some weed or something for some shit. They don't give a fuck about that. Like, dude, listen. There are people responsible for putting these people in these circumstances, and they cannot reconcile that shit to save their life. They're trying to all of a sudden have respect for men that they never had to respect before. That's where 98% of these women are at. They will see their homegirl be on some straight bullshit and won't see them and won't really criticize them or chop their head off in public like they're supposed to. Nah, no, man. Like, no, man. Like, y'all ain't about to come in here and do that. Are you crazy? Yes. And trying to rescue the family unit on the back of inexperienced men and overly experienced and damaged women, that ain't a look, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And these people are trying to rescue the family concept off the women that they broke. They broke these women. Dude, listen, I seen. But this is what this stuff is about. Wait, hold on a second. That turned off. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. I had a phone call coming in. But yeah, but that's where we at. So imagine if you're an older guy. You see how this stuff turned out like I did, and all of a sudden you're trying to bring what type of women back to the table to do what to these dudes? Let's say you brought PhDs to this space to make these dudes comfortable so that way they can walk into impending doom. These people have no soul, man. They don't care. This thing is powered by broken men. It is powered by male usury. It is powered by these children that never should have been created in these circumstances that they bragged on back in the day, that can't nobody reconcile right now. No one wants to reconcile the fact that this stuff has been over, bro. And it's not a bad thing looking at a bad situation for what it is. I had to look at Mississippi for the bad situation that it was very early. I had to get out of there while the getting was good before I became stuck there. And yes, coaches got me up out of there. People in the neighborhood was telling me to get up out of there. People who were retired was telling me to get up out of there. All that stuff. But then again, it doesn't matter about the information that was there. I still had to make a choice to leave. What's going on, Lil Rock 0909? Never had it in me to be a player and trying to maintain a career at the same time. I'm not stretching my resources that can go to family for those. Yeah, you can. Like, you have to understand that the older individuals in the 90s, they wasn't talking about that shit. The older individuals in the 2000s, they wasn't talking about that shit either. Most of these people, when they came to the manosphere, you think they was talking about that shit? No. When 2.0 came here, it was time to get these dudes back on these women for their own benefit. That's what it was. And hey, your concepts have got to be battle tested. I wanted these people here. What's going on, Full Circle? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Topic of conversation, 100 and excellent talking points. Yeah. And here's the thing. I could say everything that I've said, and I still don't hate these motherfucking women. I don't have to hate them. Dude, listen. Understanding a situation for what it is lessens the likelihood that you get caught up in it. This is how you feel more responsible than you are. You feel more responsible than you are is because this is your only source of women that you're willing to deal with. That's how you go insane. That's how you go crazy. That's how you have 8 and 9 hour live streams. Because these women need money to fix their problems. 6-figure dudes to fix their problems. And I don't think they've never even appreciated a dude that have 6 figures like that. But they have 6-figure problems. You ain't got the time to try to fix these problems. Yeah. How you think this stepdad shit came down? Women rolled through 5, 6 kids, kids disrespecting the dude. He have him a placebo family, a family that he should have been socialized to have, and that was okay. Male usury, it was 100% okay. It wasn't the real full gamut of the stepdaddy shit, but at the end of the day, the grand majority of the situation did turn into that. This is what I'm saying. What's going on, Rod Spice? It's just that this is why I don't understand why there's all this time for men to try to fix women when we got problems to fix ourselves. But you have to understand the history of this actual situation in order for you to be able to navigate properly. They have to lie to you. Hell, I got 2 sisters who lie to me all the time about their choices and what they chose and what they ended up with and their actual results that they have. I have to listen to this shit from them. I have to listen to this shit from them. Yeah, what's going on, Romello? Thanks for joining the channel. But you see, nobody's going to tell you this because there's 2 type of men here. There's men that want you to do better and leaving these people alone. And then there's men that only want you to do better if you're going to team up with these people. I'm talking about the ones who've done it wrong, by the way, because they know that you teaming up with the wrong person is going to be an endless source of pain that they're going to be able to feed off of. What's going on, Private Foster? It's going to be an endless source of pain. Endless source of predictable pain that they're not going to tell you about. Then you become the person who's lying like he got everything okay, like everybody else who go through the same pain as you. And some people go through this pain to the point to where they start to defend the actual system. They go to the point to where they put themselves in total bitch brain mode to where they want to tell you how the uncultured woman thinks. And they think that such advanced knowledge is going to help you get sexual access. Sexual access with the wrong type of person can ruin your life. Trust me, if there was an easy way to tell the culture from the uncultured, dude, this stuff will be pretty easy. But at the end of the day, like they artificially created the actual sexual inflation with the vaginal keep away piece, with the patting you on the head, letting you settle for just basic female attention by just having them around, and you sell out your own dude. I forget which live stream that I was listening to. I don't like when YouTube do that. When I'm sitting here and all of a sudden the autoplay just plays a video for no reason. And they play videos of things that I'm not interested in. Like the divestiture conversation, I'm not even interested in that conversation. However, I found myself listening to it. And it was dude after dude jumping on the panel with divestors. Men jumping on the panel with divestors, justifying people not seeing their kids, justifying all types of stuff. Calling dudes that ain't nothing, because women was talking about intentionally keeping their kids away from their actual fathers. And you had men jump on the panel and pretty much support their point of view. And yes, they were just using that dude for that purpose. They were okay with that dude talking all that stuff about men. The moment he turned that camera toward, well, turned the situation toward them not choosing right, they got his ass up out of there with the quickness. It's always that way. I had a person the other day send me an email. Oh well, all passport bros don't sound like you, and they should be more like you. You know what? They just don't be attacking women. I'm like, look, Cynthia G has a fucking platform. You have a nice fucking day. Don't ever fucking come up to me telling me that I got to police these grown ass men when you got somebody on here calling for genocide of black babies. Now I don't give a fuck about her even being there, but there's a fight to be fought. If I can fight fuck niggas and stomp them the fuck out on the male side, then you can go out here and fight these hoes and stomp them the fuck out on their side. Don't try to get me to come do your fucking job for you. Fuck out of here. You got shit that you need to be doing on your side too. But if they all benefiting from the same process and the same program, why would they try to change that? Why would they try to change that? This is what I'm saying. 2023 newly minted child support dudes could go kiss my motherfucking ass. You don't even belong in the manosphere. We got to start removing people's ability to complain about shit that ain't got nothing to fucking do with us in the manosphere. But Lil Rock 0909, this is why you got so many dudes trying to recreate the high school experience. Because I'm not gonna lie, I went and looked at their yearbook. The women that I thought were good ass fucking deals back in the day, I went back and looked at their yearbook. 25 years in the future, I'm like, damn, damn, bro. If I never would have left town, this would have been the hottest woman I would have had access to. Damn. And looking at how that shit turned out, damn. What's going on, Red Pill Finance? Yeah, man, these are willing participants, man. Willing participants. What's going on, Jaquan? Willing participants. It's not bad for them to lie to you to live, by the way. But you got to have, yep, that's exactly what it is, the Al Bundy effect. That's what it is, man. Dude, I had people coming to the 25th class reunion with the fucking Letterman jacket on, man. The only thing that they've ever accomplished was making the football team. They didn't do shit else after that shit was over, bro. They didn't do shit else with their life after that shit was over. They got a job at the local Ross or Walmart or Harbor Freight Tools or Home Depot, and that's where they've been sitting at ever since. And I'm not talking about being in a leadership position either. I'm talking about being a frontline worker. I ain't motherfucking lying, man. I am not lying. You got women who came through that shit too, hunting for a good ass dude. Same shit. People keep talking about all this game and shit you need to be with this woman. No, that's not true, man. They trying to take anybody who will sign up for them. Anybody who will sign up for them. Still doing it. You know it. Still doing it. But yeah, you still got to navigate this environment with these people in it. You just can't put them on your team. And you can't put them anywhere near your finances. And you don't hire these people. Bro, bro, dude, we graduated 25 fucking years ago. People still showing up with the Letterman jacket, man. They had to have worn that shit their whole fucking life, man, to make sure that that shit still fit. Yeah, that's all they did, man. That's all they did. But you got to be honest with yourself with the situation, man. That's why I'm not even active on IG like that. I have a page, but you don't see me really posting shit up there, man. That's the issue. That's the issue. Hold on a second. But that's where we at. It's not a bad thing. But just know that's what has to happen at this point. They have to lie to you to live. They all do. It doesn't matter whether you're the 60-year-old, you know, extremely sheltered Christian lady who don't understand why her nephews ain't or nieces ain't shit. It doesn't matter. The situation is what it is, and the better that you can understand the history of what's going on and understand the deliberate mismanagement of choice, because they were socialized into thinking by the men, by the way, whether they was hitting that shit or not, about how there was going to be this newly crop of men created who was going to take over this game as a relief pitcher and pitch out the rest of this game for them. That's why I ain't on there. That's why I ain't on there. I don't need no more people trying to live in my place and knowing that I'm on the road all the time. I've already been through that shit. In 2016, I've already been through that shit. So, yeah. But it's not a bad thing. But you need to realize, like, where you going to start your life off at? If you're going to start your life off with not having these problems, don't you think you need to not have these problems right away? Don't you think don't you think that you have to create a socialization process for yourself where you're not going through this shit? Yeah. Most of my stuff, bro, I wasn't even trying to mess with these people. I was trying to get my money together so that way I can separate from these people. No one talks about that. Want to know why? Too busy trying to surf off the broken environment, man. Too busy. Too busy. Thank y'all for the cash apps, man, who actually sent them the last time. I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my phone. It usually give me like an email, but I didn't get either one of those things during the show the last time. But you guys have got to realize, man, bro, listen, you are at the best place, the best shot to have the best outcomes. You want to know how those other cultures did it? Those other cultures moved to a different environment. They left people out who didn't know how to act, and they just dealt with people who did want to come their own way that they were going. That's how they did it. They didn't try to play through nonsense. They didn't try to team up with nonsense and get their stuff together. That's only been a burden that's here. That's only been a burden that's here. Unjustly put on and unjustly socialized on men and women who are too weak to know otherwise. That's the point of this channel, to stop the days of future past. That's the point, to stop the days of future past. Yeah. And that is an individual responsibility to deprogram yourself from it. That's a cultural responsibility to deprogram yourself from it. Like in this woman's case, who's 60 years old, she had a damn near 100% success rate, except for one of her sons getting like killed very early by the same people that she is trying to understand at this point in time. Otherwise, she probably would have had a 100% success rate, especially with the son who had died over some bullshit. What's going on, misunderstood? What's going on? But yeah, but that's what that shit is, man. Yeah, I guarantee you she probably would have had a 100% success rate had she not lost her son. But you have to realize, man, like, bro, listen. Yeah, what's going on, miss? Dude, this stuff is not going to get any easier to predict. All the answers are out there, man. All the answers are out there. And you still may find what you want to out here. But at the end of the day, notice that infinite choice is still out there and still on their side. They still got a justice system that's going to get them a free attorney. They still can ruin your credibility in a heartbeat with a Me Too case. That stuff is for real and it's true. There ain't no way that you got this stuff figured out. that you can get past the laws and all this kind of other stuff. It's not possible. But it's not a bad thing to notice how bad things are. But a lot of people turn themselves into a sexual scavenger out here, and then when they face the consequences, they want to blame the person who they sexually exploited for those consequences. That doesn't make any sense. You know this is a bad situation. Yeah, like it's dude, like none of this stuff is really that hard, man. It's going Lil Rock. Like I was on the phone with a Jeezer after the last show, and we was talking about how most of these mental health problems can be easily fixed by getting your money together and separating from these people that you don't need to be around. And how rewarding of a situation it is to go around these people after you have your shit together and tell them that, look, man, look, y'all not gonna be treating me this kind of way. Y'all gonna have to have shit set up when I come around, and I'm not gonna be mistreated while I'm here. And you get to tell people to go to hell when you have your shit together. You see, this whole thing was dependent on creating as many codependent men as possible to stay in these messed up circumstances that is eventually going to net you these bad outcomes. You can't separate if you ain't got your money together. You can't separate from this shit. There ain't no way you're gonna be able to separate from this if you ain't got your money together. Think about it. Let's say you got your money together and you don't want to be around these crazy ass people for the holidays. Like I told you, some of the best holidays I've ever had was around total strangers. In the military, the best holidays I ever had was not celebrating the holidays. Sitting there, chilling out, renting a castle. I mean, man, just having a bunch of fun, man, like around a bunch of people, man. Bro, that shit was great. That shit was great, man. But see, don't nobody teach you about that shit. Why? They want to keep you as far away from the money as possible. Because the moment you get your money together, that's like the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. The moment you get your money together, the moment you have your shit straight, even if you live in a bad area of town in a one bedroom on like a six-story of a fucking building, I've done that shit before in Denver. The moment I separated from having those fucking roommates and watching motherfuckers bail out on me at the first of the month and leaving me stuck with this shit, the moment I decided just to do it all without the dog, bro, I'm telling you, man, weight off of my shoulders, everything on me. I'm telling you, man, it was the shit. And here's the fucked up thing about it, Eric Bird. I have more access to people that I did never liked in the military than the people whose numbers, names, and addresses that I should have had while I was in the military. Nearly 100% of the people who I have access with, I did not fucking like when I was in the Air Force. But I have all their information, and we're all in the same field. I do not have most of the information to the coolest motherfuckers I ever met. I don't have any of those dudes' information. I tried tracking some of them down when I took that year off, but then I started seeing how these stories started ending, and I had to like hang that shit up, man. You don't need to know the end of all these stories, man. When I seen one of my sergeants and shit downtown Denver strung out on drugs and shit, like, man, bro. Some of the stories you don't need to know how it ended, man. Trust me. You don't need to know how some of these stories ended. And you really got to protect yourself from these bad outcomes for these people out here too. Dude, listen, man. Everybody on that plane was on that plane for the same reason. Nobody wanted to go over there to those people. It doesn't matter if it was a cruise. It doesn't matter whether it was Mexico. I'm not really a Tijuana guy, but for the couple of times I went during the holiday season, it was a disaster. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, man, like bro, I can't leave my old sergeants out there like that. Nah, man. Nah, we got them fixed up. We got them fixed up. It took a while, but yeah, yeah, we got them fixed up. Yeah, we got them fixed up. I didn't like that motherfucker either, but yeah, got him fixed up. He was shocked and surprised that I would even help him out in a circumstance like that. It's just like I have an old commander in New Jersey that I see every time I go out there. That dude really fucked me up and took an assignment away from me, man. I still fuck with that dude. I still fuck with that dude. Yeah, he did some fucked up shit, but at the end of the day, man, ain't nobody else gonna see that fucking dude. Yeah, man, like it was a lot of cops in the area. Like there was people who was working in Aurora, some people who worked in Denver, some people who worked in a couple people from sheriff's departments. We all kind of came together and kind of got that dude the fuck up off the from being downtown, man. I know he didn't want to see us, but we just couldn't leave him out there like that, man. We couldn't leave him out there like that. Nah, we couldn't do no shit like that, man. And I actually feel that way with a lot of people that I serve with, man. Like a lot of people think that I still don't like these motherfuckers. Like I don't. But at the end of the day, if I got some information that can help you, I'm just gonna give you up the information, man. Or if you're in a fucked up position, yeah, man, we're gonna come together and we're gonna get your ass up out of there. Damn, man. Yeah, man. Like, bro, like, all right, all right, Eric Bird, listen, man. Like, you will have people who will risk damaging a lifelong friendship over trying to borrow money when they down bad, man. You will have people who will try to pump other people for personal information that they'll try to use against you just to borrow some fucking money, man. Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. Look, everybody's trying to benefit without the doing the work piece. Yeah, that's the thing. Because here's the thing, man. Right now, a woman doesn't even have to look good for these type of dudes, the type of shit that they'll settle for. A woman who's on some act right shit ain't got no problem getting a productive dude. None. 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 Got no problem getting a productive dude. If that's what she's fucking into. Trust me. These dudes will settle for anything. A woman can walk up with three kids and say, you know what? I fucked up in the past. I'm ready to come home now. These dudes going like a motherfucker. So I don't want to hear this that they can't find a good dude. Fuck out of here. Y'all been neglecting these dudes for years. They'll settle for anything. They'll try to rationalize it like they give a fuck about the family union and all that kind of stupid ass shit. But no, end of the day, these dudes will settle for anything. Iman Perry, it's a good idea, man. Listen, they're gonna find somebody else to move on to. The moment you start posting, that's when they start contacting. If you ain't posting shit, you ain't a target for them. That's what it is. Yeah. You want to invite these hungry ass people into your inbox? Yeah, man, you go ahead and do that. You want to announce yourself as a high value man and that you're ready to get taken advantage of by these people? You go ahead and do that. Dude, so much of this stuff is already solved, man. NYC Evolve 88. You right, man. Hey, listen. Why you think I work all the time? I definitely don't need to work. Dude, I work so I can stay out of them private parties. That's why I work. I work so I can stay out of them private parties in the Denver metro area with club owners and politicians and defense industry motherfuckers. That's why I'm on the road, man. And whenever I get tired of being on the road, I go back home and I'm probably there 3 days. I go to one of these parties. I'm like, man, I'm back on the road again, man. I'd rather be coming out here looking at property and going places. What's going on, Jay Charles? Like, bro, listen, man. One of my brothers, right? One of my brothers would have a pocket full of fucking money. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this motherfucker would still go around asking motherfuckers for money, man. Crazy shit. Just to be doing it. Just to be doing it, man. Man, that stuff crazy how people be going around doing that crazy ass shit. And we wasn't raised like that, man, bro. Listen, this is stuff that people pick up that becomes normal to them. But listen, you can't blame a woman for you outsourcing her not messing you over to her. You want to get in a situation and then you want to outsource it to her to treat your ass right. Man, get out of my face with that shit. You know it's a bad situation from beginning to end, man. Ain't nobody stupid out here, man. Listen, listen. You speak the language, you get picked up, then you get discarded. What's the problem? You know where you're shopping at, man. You know full well if you go to Walmart for anything, as soon as you leave that Walmart parking lot, man, time speeds up like a motherfucker with what you bought. You know that shit. You know when you go to Walmart to go pick some shit up, as soon as you leave that time displacement field, you put that shit in the refrigerator 2 days and that shit's out of there. Gone. Bad. You gotta use that shit right away. That's what the dating market is. That's what listening to this relationship shit is. Women who didn't even want to be on that bullshit got an enormous leg up from the manosphere, letting them know the world over that there were thirsty ass dudes who wanted to go anyway. No incentive to act right. Chili didn't need no fucking dating coach, man. No, not Chili. It's plenty of residual thirst built up all over the country for Chili, regardless of how she looks now. And she's in the Atlanta area, man. Stop. That woman ain't got no problem getting no fucking dude. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going on too, man. There's a lot of that stuff going on too. A lot of it. But if you just got your money together, stayed out of the way, be humble as shit, move out to the middle of nowhere onto a place where you can protect your gains, you'll be fine. But if you want to be a part of this damaged system, you're going to be. If you ain't got the discipline to stay away from this shit, yeah, you're going to be messed up out here. As you should be. Because these people need help. They don't need more chances and choices. They need actual help that doesn't involve other people who want to feed into the nonsense that got them there. That's what I'm saying, man. But Target ain't got them parking lots like Walmart do though. Like most Target parking lots and like delivery areas are only set up for day cabs. They're not really set up for sleeper trucks to go back there and turn around and shit. Otherwise, I would be shopping at nothing but Target. But Target ain't got like meat and other shit in it, so I'm stuck with the Walmart shit for now. Unless I'm like in a good city where they have like a good meat market. But you guys have got to understand, man. You've already made it. Dude, you have so much more experience by not having any experience at this point in time. You're already good, man. Who want to claim that off waivers? I'm not claiming that off waivers. No, sir. No, sir. No, we're not drafting anything like that, man. Nah. Like LOM, like what you have to do, man, like bro, like you need to find like a good farm, man. Because actually those lamb farmers will give you that meat on the cheap. Because they do have a lot of meat that they don't sell. Believe it or not, they don't sell all the lamb that they actually create out there. That shit is that 5 for 20 Walmart shit, man. 5 for 20. What's going on, Lola Falana? What's going on? But that's the way it is, man. Like, bro, 2023. If dudes are getting in trouble with these women and they need help and all that shit, man, leave their ass out there. Leave their ass out. Oh hell yeah! Like, listen, man. Like, there's a turkey farm like outside of Lima, Ohio, like where I load out at, that does turkey, and I always stay turkeyed up, man. Every time I go out there, I stay turkeyed up. Oh yeah, man. You are correct about that. You are correct about that. No farmers like giving that shit away to local people, man. They're not always looking to do business with just big manufacturers, man. Like, bro, there's a lot of stuff that they keep that they want to get rid of. Because we used to do stores like that, like back in Mississippi, where we used to do cows and pigs and goats and shit. Where we used to slaughter them and all that shit and take all that shit to market and sell it. So I know the system because I was raised in the system like that. So what's going on, BK from the Rockies? I still can't see you in the chat for some reason, but what's going on? That is where we are, folks. They have to lie to live. The circumstance that they in is not a truthful one. If they wanted to be off the market, they would already be off the market. You would not retire either. If you had infinite choice, you wouldn't be able to retire either. I was in the same situation when I was in Germany. There was literally no reason for dudes to get married. No reason at all. They had legalized prostitution, and I'm talking about women look better than anything that's on the base. There was no way in the hell them dudes was getting off the market. A lot of them dudes took minimum wage jobs to stay over in that area just to have access to that shit. So if you expect women to give up welfare and all this shit for free, trust me, I've seen the other end when dudes have access to nearly the same thing. They don't settle either. It is about protecting your own self out here. Yes, I'm telling you. People will be over there in Germany working at the UPS for like $25 an hour, and they've been there for 20 years just to have access to that area and just to stay in that situation and circumstance. Yes. It's called red plane photography. Hmm. You got to save yourself, man. You got to save yourself. Yes, you can. Like whenever I go to fuck, I go to one in Fayetteville when I'm out there. Cause when you get like, cause I love cucumbers and tomatoes, especially naturally grown ones. Them cucumbers that you get from like farmers last like a whole week and a half, man. That shit you get from like supermarkets don't even last a couple days. Man, I love farmers markets. They got a lot of them in Colorado too, man. They got a lot of them in Kansas too. But y'all folks have got to get this, man. These people need to be participating in society, man. You got to participate in society to get something out of it. You got to participate to get something out of it, man. I cannot tell you how important it is to participate in society. And participation comes way easier when you got your money right. When you got your money right, you ain't stacked up against the wall. You're not working 200 hours a week trying to make your rent. Man, bro. That's why I say the time displacement field, man. So once you leave Walmart with them bananas, man, boy, listen, man. That time speed up fast as shit. Man, you got to use them bananas from Walmart pretty quick, man. That's like them truck stop bananas, man. You got to eat that shit like in a day, man. That stuff go bad really fast. Bro, you didn't dodge hollow points, man. You dodged 50 cal rounds. You dodged 50 cal rounds. 50 cal with a thermal scope. You dodged a whole Mark 19 bombing run, man. Man, this dude dodged like a whole Apache strafing run. Well, man, let me get back at this thing, man. I just wanted to come through this morning and talk about this issue because I know this becomes an issue where people think that it's more important to try to get sexual reps out of this damaged dating market rather than getting their money together and keeping themselves under situations and circumstances that they ain't supposed to be in. Trust me. Once you start going to these industry events, that's where the better women are at. The better women are at these industry events and shit. They're not hanging out on bus stops or at clubs and bars and all this stupid shit. But that's what I'm saying, man. Bro, listen, you gotta leave these dudes out there. You gotta leave these dudes out there, man. Cause I need to have another live stream. What's going on, Jamal White? I need to have another live stream based on all the things that the manosphere was not supposed to create or create. Because there's a lot of people who thought that just because the manosphere existed, man, like we were supposed to create better men and all that kind of like, what are you talking about? All these people made a choice on what type of content they wanted to actually be around, people they wanted to be around, all this shit. And that's currently where we at. Oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Look, man. Hey, man, these phone calls are coming in hard and heavy, man. I got to get back to the real work, man. I got to fit y'all into my daily life, man. I just can't be sitting in no studio as much as I want to, man. I enjoy the shit out here too much, man. So I want to thank you guys for coming through. Please take the live stream serious, and you got to be able to separate from these people that ain't going anywhere. It's okay to be by yourself, be in that lab, fixing yourself up, and not really fixing yourself up for the handoff to these people who have to lie to you to live. This ain't hatred. This is trying to protect you from problems. This is trying to protect you from problems. You don't become a better person having access and reps on these problems. You don't you don't get better at things doing that. All right. But I do need to fix up a live stream about all the things that the man of spirit is not was not meant to protect that we actually get blamed for. All right, so I want to thank you people for coming through. Make sure you like the video upon leaving. And you guys have a nice rest of your day. Remember, they all benefited from the system. They all did. If you have 1 out of 10s with multiple kids and large social media followings, trust me, they all benefited. All right. You don't have to ignore what's going on in the environment itself to actually celebrate your actual sexual access without forgetting about everybody else. It's some nonsense. It's something that you don't need to be actually doing. What's going on, Sister George? And you people have a nice rest of y'all day. Remember, don't look at it like this. Look at it like I'm trying to give your good son the information, your good nephew the information, your good brother your information. All right? That's how you look at it. All right. Thank y'all for coming through. Y'all have a nice one. Peace.